Hello, hello. What is going on? My insomniac crew. Hopefully, things aren't too crazy. Just trying to verify that the background isn't too loud. Don't mind this, I'm not drinking alcohol. It's Topo Chico. I'm just over here. I can't hear anything. Alright, that is pretty loud. Let me turn that down. Alright, that is still pretty loud. Alright. Hello. What is going on, everybody? And by everybody, I mean anybody on Insomniac Hours. But it's all good. Alright, let's put this away. And then rotate this here out of the frame. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the streaming. This cord's a bit sensitive. More than I would prefer, quite honestly, but hey. Beggars cannot be choosers. Maybe I need to step my game up and just get a new laptop. I've had this one for a while. It's not giving up the ghost, but there just seems to be fewer and fewer updates coming my way. So, all right. So, what's going on tonight is I'm going to be putting a few things together. And to do so, we're going to need some glue. And if I'm feeling real squirrely, some Resolene. And the items to be glued together. I'm not gluing those together, I promise. For the Resolene, just in case. So I've recently got some new items in, and I am very much looking forward to making some progress on them. If I could only remember where I put them. You know what? I might have put them in a completely separate bag, because that would be what I would do. All right. Be back in about 20 seconds. Don't hate me too much. I said about 20 seconds. So one of these projects is going to be burnished. The other one is going to be edge painted. That's why I've got that one out. And one of them is going to have the stitching holes punched. All right, let's get to it. So the one that's going to be burnished is going to be this project here. I'm really not liking how this color looks. Let me change that in camera. There we go. That's better. Okay, so the first piece that we're gonna do the edge paint for. Actually, we're gonna do this one separate because edge painting requires a whole bunch of application and waiting, which I don't want to do. So we're gonna take this piece and we're going to clean the edges up and burnish them and then glue them, get them ready to go. I'm also going to see how long this takes. Side note, watch of the day is a San Martin Field Watch Chrono, and all of the, come on, all of these are screw down. So the crown here and the pushers, they all screw down to better prevent water from going in the movement. But I'm gonna time how long it takes to get the edges looking nice and smooth and clear it. Here we go. And I don't want to accidentally stop it. That will be for later. Yeah, we can swing this one. Yep, good call. Don't want to overdo it. So I left the last little bit of each one unburnished, or at least, unbeveled, because this part is going to be glued and stitched. So that is unneeded for the moment. It's there. Sorry, I'm not very chatty right now. Trying not to mess this up. Sweet, sweet coffee. Don't drink coffee at 2:50 a.m. Admittedly, I don't have any place to be, so that's not so terrible. Still, don't follow in my footsteps. I've been lazy about this before, where I would put them all together. Time for that glorious tokonole. It's the good stuff. I'd put them together and then just burnish like this, which is just lazy. You want things done. If you want things to look well, you have to do them properly. Don't take shortcuts. Don't cut corners. Spent a good while taking shortcuts and corners. Trust me, only thing that you're doing is cheating yourself and making your product look cheap, like you don't care. And if it looks like you don't care, then you don't really deserve people's money. So there's that. Mm. Oh, for the record, this piece here is Horween. It's a double horse front. So it's horsehide. And I don't have the name of it off the top of my head, the tannage for it. I bought it as a mystery bundle. So I didn't know what I was getting other than I was getting a double horse front. So I didn't know what color and what thickness. But the place I got it from, Tannery Row, hashtag not sponsored. They do great work. They make great stuff, or rather, uh, the Horween Tannery makes great stuff, and then the Tannery Row makes it available for small businesses and individual artisans. You can't buy from the Horween Tannery as a producer unless you're buying at a minimum 10 sides at once. Uh, I love their stuff. The quality is amazing, but I am not selling in such volume that I can just buy 10 hides. So, shout out to Tannery Row for making things available for us small creators. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag I wish I was sponsored. If we could make that happen, Tannery Row, I'd be super thrilled. All right, that feels really good, but I'm going to try to take it up a notch with the canvas. I don't need this whole roll, just need a piece. I'm so mad at myself. I got this huge bottle, and I forgot that I had the smaller travel joint up here. So that's what we'll use from now on. Sadly, I cracked this pattern here. Makes me upset, but when life hands you lemons, you go ahead and try to make do. So I'm just going to do this so I can hold it nice and firm, close to the edge, and we'll get this going here. There we go. There's a method to the madness, I promise. So I got the edge looking pretty good with the wood slicker. That's a bit much. So you don't need too much more for the burnishing with the canvas. But you do need a little something. Come on, don't go all floppy on me. All right, that's looking a little bit nicer, a little more gloss to it. Oh yeah, I like that a lot better. All right, so we saw that. This one's going to be a lot easier because the edges are flat. So I'm going to just compare the wood slicked version with the canvas one so you can see where my head is at with how it turns out. Oh, yeah, there we go. Is this direction first? So you can feel in the grain which direction the fibers want to lay. So that's the direction that you should be starting the burnishing slash slicking process. You want to get it in one direction first to get it to lay down proper, and then you start with the back and forth. What's everybody got going on for the glorious Christmas Eve? Me personally, nothing today. Maybe I'll try to see the girlfriend. Side note, yes, I'm seeing somebody, putting that out publicly now. Let's see how this live stream is looking. Make sure it's not all choppy. There we go. Bring that down some. There we go. All right, so pretty sure. Come on. So you should be able to see the difference in the burnish there with the canvas and just with the wood slicker. The canvas has definitely got more gloss to it, and I purposely spent more time with the wood slicker on this one than I did with this, so you can see the difference. This is the difference in burnish that you get with the canvas compared to just the slicker. And now, just a smidge. Da-da-da-da. and then a bit there. Yeah, it's better when I hold it there. If I had a stitching pony with jaws wide like this, then it would be easier. But for right now, with what I'm doing and the size of the piece, this here is going to hold up pretty well. There we go. I might need to reapply, but actually, no, this is getting a good shine to it. Yeah, that's noticeably different than what it was before. Yeah, so it'd be the back piece, middle piece, front piece. Now, won't get ahead of myself with the glue. I'm going to keep this here though. No, a little piece of canvas stuck in there. Bad form. Some of that burnishing agent. So again, this is the Horween double horse front, and I filmed an unboxing, or rather a first impression, because I had to take it out of the box. The box was actually too big to fit on this desk. And this is the first thing that is going to be made from this that's going to be hand stitched, and this piece is going to be machine stitched. See if I can get by without using that odd clamping method until I have to use the canvas. I think I might be able to do that. I do think it was working, but I don't know. I think I might favor the more control here than anything. If I can get this one. Gonna do this. Sorry for the brightness. Got to see the edge here. All right. I'm liking how those edges have turned out. So that's good for now. That took me, with all of that yapping, 20 minutes. Centerpiece. Boom. I cannot believe that. Well, that's already marked. So I very foolishly forgot to bring the roughing tool, which you use to rough up the leather to make it a better surface to get some adhesive on, which is fine. I mean, scratch all kind of serves that same purpose, but it's just a singular point instead of a rough surface. I don't want to use this. This shouldn't be up here right now. This is what I use to clean my weapon. And I'd have some of that up on my other channel, but unless you are an established weapons YouTube channel, they are not fans of that. I've had a live stream shut off because one of my weapons was in frame. I wasn't even talking about it. I think I was just talking about how I made a holster for it. And YouTube shut down my live stream because the weapon was visible. Rules are pretty crazy, but whatever. Mm. All right, remember, you can zoom back in now. With the glue, a little goes a long way. So something like this, going to about halfway, is going to be more than sufficient. For applying the glue to this whole piece. Excuse me, not the whole piece as in everything, but just this singular piece. That's there. Then we go and apply the glue to this portion that was roughed up. And it's a lot smoother than the flesh side of the leather, which was this side here. So you're not going to need nearly as much. But because you roughed it up, you are going to need an okay amount. I got some on the mat. Terrible. And because a little can go a long way, I want to try to use as much of it as you can because you don't want to be wasteful with what you got. Like this little piece here, boom. That way I haven't lost anything. can keep it rolling. I am moderately sure, almost completely sure, that I'm going to be giving this away. So be on the lookout for that, you all. I hope you all like the music. It is the Japanese anime lo-fi, which truthfully, it does sound like some nice background music that you would hear on, say, Cowboy Bebop or something. I hope it's not too loud. I turned it down a bunch. Come on, get out of there. There we go. All right. That should be nice and well applied. Yeah, the construction process is usually a little faster. I'm not yapping through it. I just kind of zone out when I'm listening to an audiobook or something like that. Da-da-da-da. There we go. Making sure that alignment is solid. All right, now with these and with a lot of things like this, best way to make sure that everything is solid and lined up properly is when you get the edges first. Make sure the edges are all properly lined up and then press down in the middle. Oh, I already see a problem with how like soft and like full of like fats and oils this is here. The glue is not adhering all that well. It's soaked into the material or it's just not doing its thing as well. Yeah, normally the glue is harder to pull apart. This is really easy. So I have to watch that. I might have to let the glue set for a lot longer before stitching. Wasn't intended, but quite honestly, still an easy fix. So I'm going to use these bigger binder clips before I use the smaller ones. I have a fifth one. There we go. Put this away. Let's break out the cheat code. This is a fan. It's battery powered, but also USB powered. Right now, I got the plug in it, and this helps with the drying time for the edge paint. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag wish I was. Decrease the clutter. I wish I had some more of these, of the binder clips. I thought I did, but I was very wrong. But the air moving past helps to dry the pieces really, really well. Angle this down a touch. I should have had this mapped out, but I didn't, so here we are. Get that back out of the way. All right, so to the casual observer, this doesn't really matter one way or the other which direction it faces, but for me, it matters. I want for the manner in which it's going to be held for the scales to be pointing downward. So when someone's using this, I don't want for their hands, when they're holding it, to move opposite the direction of the scales. So this, the thumb moving down, this would be the bottom, and this would be the top of the card. Excuse me, the top of the soon-to-be wallet. So that piece here, this is dry enough. I can just put it away. Meanwhile, this piece is going to have to sit in the fan, in the path of the fan to dry the top edge off right there. I don't want it to face like that, 'cause it'll blow over. So having it face right there is good. Unless it falls over. Come on. We'll just call that good. Sorry. Started doing that off camera. My bad. This one I'm less worried about because it's got a little more weight to it. So hopefully it stands up a little better. Looks like I should be worried about it. The upside is this one is mostly dry, so this one can be propped up against this one here too. Not too much. So I asked Peter Knits, aka the leather crafting goat, how many coats of edge paint does he use? Because his edge painting is marvelous. And this guy told me, oh, no more than 4. And if you've ever seen the edges, you've seen the edge work that he does. It is outstanding. And I just sit there and I think, there's no way that's only 4. No way. But that guy, he is able to do something special. He is truly blessed, gifted. No. Uh, thank goodness for this fan. I just want it to balance. There we go. Lighter pressure. So like I was saying before with the whole uh, edge paint thing, with how he does his prep and everything, if you ever watch it, it's amazing. So you see why he gets those same results. I'm sorry, I keep bringing the piece closer to me, so you're not able to see the application. That's my bad. So he uses a scratch all or a different sort of applicator to apply the edge paint. And I've tried that technique and it seems to be really valid, but I don't trust myself to do what it is that he's doing with all of that. So I just leave that as it is. I'll keep using the roller, this one or that one there. And then once I can practice that technique a little bit more on on other things, then we'll see how that one turns out. So this is coat 3 for these ones here. And truth be told, this should be good to go before I uh, let it dry and then try to apply the glue and so they can be put together. Probably. This is a small edge. I'm going to do a little bit more. There we go. Okay. All right. Those ones should be okay. Looks like 3 will be pretty solid. You can see how. Come on. Focus. There we go. The coat on 3 is looking really, really good. Gonna get a better focus. Yeah. All right. So when all 3 of those dry, then take this off. because I don't want to have to do crazy stuff with it later. So when those are all dry, then I'll glue them together, punch the holes for this one, then this one will just be ready to be stitched on the machine later. Let's go ahead and move these over here, just so we can have things a little closer together. Don't need that. But while we're waiting, go on ahead and get this ready to go. Let the end get clogged up. Rookie move on my part. Bad form. So if you ever done this yourself with the glue, you'll see the difference in how this glue is acting on the on this piece. Normally, it doesn't give the appearance that it's soaking in. It just gets there, you smooth it out, or rather you flatten it out, spread it, and allow it to dry quicker. Then it just gets, tacky, and then you can use it as you intended. But no, that's still drying a bit. This one looks ready to go though. It's probably still really soft, so I'm gonna apply the glue, but I'll let it keep drying. So you can see here, the pigskin, excuse me, the pigskin suede is actually a pretty absorbent material. The suede itself, it has a different texture on the surface as regular leather, but this stuff doesn't appear to be soaking in. It looks like it's just drying out. So that's why I was saying that with this one here, I want to let that glue set a little more before I start trying to do anything with it. And it still seems like it's a little bit wet right there, but I'm still gonna apply this glue. Maybe not wet, but just not cured yet. But it's stable enough that I can apply this glue and then let it keep on drying. Again, with the glue, a little goes a long way. This stuff here will get used for the whole piece. So we'll let that, as they say in the industry, tack up. So you don't want it to be completely dry, but you'll let it get a little tacky to the touch. With the exception of this, because like I said, it looks like it's soaked in a bit. Wow, I pointed to something you couldn't see. So it looks like it's soaked in quite a bit on this one. It looks drastically different than this here. You can see the difference, see what I'm talking about? This doesn't normally happen. Usually on other leathers, you'll get the same sort of finish on the back, but less so here. All right. Cap on so that I'm not letting it dry out again. Corner to corner. Should have marked this, but I didn't. But I am now. This is why rougher is a great idea. In maybe 15 seconds, I'd have accomplished what's taken me essentially 30 to 40 with that rougher. It's about up here. Ba-da-da-da. Sorry, I'm not so chatty. I'm just trying to not mess this up. Let's get this off of the edge so that it's easier to burnish. Thin this out. Clean this off. Let that tack up. Let this do its thing. And if you're wondering what's going on here, this is a piece that has to get stitched up. It's ostrich, bison with a floral print on, I believe that's sheepskin on the inside. And these are business card holders. It is late. It is after 3. It's almost 4. So I'm not going to do these tonight. I'm going to put this together and then stitch it up later later today, because I can't say tomorrow. Tomorrow's Christmas. Stitch these up later today. Oh, stop, drop things. There we go. All right, so after this is stitched, after these are stitched, this will continue to get burnished, although I will true up the edges a little bit just to make sure. And the same thing with this one here. I'm going to true the edges up and then finish the burnishing that I started up here on the sides and finish the edge paint on the sides. But again, that's not something for now. That's something that I'll be doing later, certainly off camera. Get that together to hold on. And again, this one will be given away. All right. All right. I am Jay Renard. Thank you all very much for joining me on this very crazily timed live stream. I thank you very much for your time and attention. And I'm out. Peace.